We often hear that it's not a good idea to be outside when there's like forest fires, smog, and all that type of thing. We hear a lot about that lately. There's a lot of noise about climate change and a lot of forest fires. And watch out, some cities this year have been under huge smog alerts. But we don't want to have that inside our homes. We want good air quality, and you can achieve that all year round. If you talk to my good friend Rodney Jessen from Out Today. Rodney, how you doing, buddy?
I'm doing great, Joe. How are you?
Fantastic. It's great to have you here. Air quality, a lot of people don't think about it. They're more concerned with heating their home, cooling their home. But air quality is very important. Many people have allergies and other upper respiratory issues. You can really help people with the air quality in the home. Talk about that.
Yeah, yes, Joe. There's basically three filters in your home. A lot of folks don't realize, but that fan wheel inside the furnace that moves the air around all day long, that's probably the primary filter because it catches the airborne particles and they stick to it over time. And that's why we got to come in there and clean that thing. The second thing we're all familiar with, which is the air filter itself, although never designed to make the air in the house better. It's like an air filter on a car. It was always designed to keep that accumulation low on that fan blower motor. In other words, protect the engine, just like a car. And then we have our third air filter in the house, and that's us. Every
Oh,
time we breathe, we filter the air in our home. Unfortunately, that's probably not a good idea. So the study of air, people go to college for this for a year, 2 years. It's very complicated, but the industry itself can do things to make the air in the home healthier. Our homes are so sealed up nowadays for energy efficiency that the off-gassing of components in our home happens 24 hours a day. Those chemicals that we keep in the kitchen that probably should be in the garage, the materials that our home was built with, the carpet on the floor is gassing off what it's made out of, which is typically petroleum products or other refined chemicals. We're filtering those. So there are ways of protecting ourselves from those very things that we need in our home.
some people will use a little standalone unit in their home, like in their bedroom or their living room where they spend time. What's really nice about what you can provide for the whole home is that it is for the entire home. And it's so important to have the right filtration system. So you have to have the right air filters in your air conditioning and heating system to begin with. But beyond that, Rodney can install higher end products that will really, really help. So if you have these upper respiratory issues, if you have a child or an elderly person with asthma, you really need to be careful. And so within your home, in your own little place, right, you can keep all the bad things away from your lungs because, as Rodney said, the third filter are your lungs. It's us.
True.
and 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 God has created a great machine in us, and we're very good at doing certain things. But today there's all kinds of chemicals out there, like Rodney mentioned, that weren't there when we were made. We've made this as humans, right? So we're kind of killing ourselves off, but we also have technology to ward that off. So can you talk about some of the technology you can install in someone's home?
Well, it's really interesting now. One of the spinoffs from COVID that's been around forever is being able to deal with airborne viruses and bacteria. In other words, living things in the air. And how's that dealt with? Well, there's a various machines that put out light at a certain frequency that kills them as they're flying by there in the ducts. And that's what's being used in hospitals, giant ones, and little ones in airplanes now. So that this indoor airspace, we're killing these airborne components that could make us sick. The second option is, how about some fresh air in the house? It's all sealed up, and it's allowing these gases to just compound and compound. Well, in the old days, the houses, they kind of breathed, single pane windows, little gap by the door, and we had some fresh air. Well, we can get that fresh air in the house without losing cooling and heating, which, you know, they think, well, how's that possible? I'm going to pump the hot air out of here, and then I'm going to have to reheat the new air. But there are devices that we take the heat out of that air that's being pumped out, and we put it in the new air before it gets in the house. So you can have your cake and eat it too. You can have your fresh air, and you can have it preheated or pre-cooled.
Yeah, there's just so many options. We could talk about this for hours and hours.
Good.
Yeah. In the description of this podcast is all of Rodney's information from OutToday. So you can quickly click on it or give him a phone call for all of your air conditioning needs and your heating needs, your plumbing, electrical, you name it. He can help you out with it. Rodney, thank you so much. I appreciate it, my friend.
Thanks a lot, Joe.